I'm wholeheartedly behind that message. I think I am going to put my devil's advocate hat back on, and we'll get into some of that. So again, I'll start this by saying I've never been a part of that world. If you told me that I needed to soar a horse or make some chains up or whatever, like I would be as clueless as I possibly could be. Um, I I am aware, the Horse Protection Act of 1970 outlawed soaring. So the soaring has been outlawed and illegal for a long, long time. I find it difficult to wrap my head around that there really is that much cheating still going on, and that this practice still exists. Maybe it's just more comfortable for me to say that it's just these singular isolated incidents of some asshole over here that got caught. It's hard for me to believe that everybody is doing this. Is it really that prevalent, or is it the one bad actor every once in a while?
You cannot produce that lick in the way that horse travels behind, kind of a struggling look behind, without that horse having been soared at some point in time. The
Would you
goal,
explain to us in a little more detail exactly what soaring is, what that process is?
you use some kind of chemical astringent around the front ankles to get a reaction to the chain. Then you've got the chain and you've got the built up shoe on that's got different angles to it. And in a lot of cases, uh, right before showtime, you change the angles. You can add a wedge or take a wedge out of the package very, very simply and change the angle and change the way that the chains hit on the horse's feet. But the soaring is to get a reaction from the chain, and it's not necessarily as much to make the horse step really high as it is to get the horse to really hunker down behind and really, really get their hocks close to the ground behind. And it's a form of false collection is all that it is. And to prove that those horses are traveling in false collection, look at the way that the riders hunch over. There's no circle of aid, circle of energy in the horse because the horse is not carrying himself correctly. All the energy stops right there at the withers where the rider's sitting all hunched over.
Well, that
And
was a question that I was going to ask, because it doesn't seem like something. It doesn't wouldn't be my first thought that, hey, I'm going to put a tuxedo on and go hunch over on a horse with my legs straight and stiff and splayed out like this. It doesn't look like a real good time to me. But
well, people say it's because those horses squat down behind. The rider sits that way to keep from sliding off. That's the farthest thing from the truth. I've rode, well, in my lifetime, I've ridden many of them. My first appearance in the Tennessee Walking Horse National Celebration, I was probably 4 or 5 years old. The first time I ever showed in Shelbyville. So I rode those horses my entire life. The horses, that look in the trainer, absolutely, the way the rider's sitting on is because the horse is traveling in false collection.